I want a divorce. What? One day, out of the blue, I, Steve, was blindsided by my wife Olivia's request for a divorce. I couldn't understand why she wanted a divorce. I was completely clueless because I hadn't done anything that might lead to this. A divorce? You're joking, right? I'm not joking. I'm serious. Why? Tell me the reason. I asked Olivia for an explanation, but she refused to say anything. How did it come to this? I racked my brain trying to figure it out. Olivia and I met through mutual friends. We both loved watching movies, and since Olivia was a former drama club member, we went to see a lot of movies and plays together. After many dates, we started going steady and eventually got married. I was content with Olivia, and I thought she felt the same. But now, she was just looking down, not saying a word. The silence was painfully awkward. Unable to stand it any longer, I finally broke the silence. If you want a divorce, at least tell me why. I won't agree to it otherwise. I have a right to know the reason, don't I? Reluctantly, as if she was being forced, Olivia let out a heavy sigh. I've found someone else. Excuse me. That's right. I've fallen for someone else. Shall I contact him for you? The Olivia I was seeing was cold and unlike the woman I had lived with for 5 years. Could this really be the same woman I had shared my life with for so long? Confused as I was, Olivia seemed unapologetic and defiant. Her demeanor only fueled my anger over my confusion. Here, this is the person. Olivia showed me a photo of her with another man, pushing my anger to its limit. How dare you? Are you making a fool out of me? Feeling betrayed by the woman I loved, my love for Olivia turned into hatred. I didn't realize it at the time, but Olivia looked momentarily sad, or maybe relieved, at my reaction. Don't bother trying to get alimony. There's no proof. Her cold words chilled the room. What was my love worth? Was the time I spent with her so insignificant that she could just replace me with another man? Was I really that insignificant? I felt more and more miserable. Why did I ever love such a woman? Filled with disgust for Olivia, I agreed on divorce. Olivia quickly left with her bags, which she had already packed. The next day, I was left alone in our spacious house. For a while, I survived on takeout food, living life in a daze. But eventually, I realized that wasn't going to cut it and threw myself into work to distract myself from the loneliness. As time passed, my anger faded, and occasionally I would remember Olivia's good qualities, which made me feel sad. I found myself feeling down quite often, and seeing this, my boss Michael suggested we grab some dinner, taking me to a fairly nice restaurant. As we looked out at the night view, Michael encouraged me, saying, "There will be another chance. Forget about that terrible woman," and gradually, I began to think less and less about Olivia. 2 years later, I received a call from my sister-in-law, Emily. I had no intention of speaking to her, so I didn't answer the phone and eventually blocked her number because she was persistent. Even though I thought there was nothing left to discuss, Emily shockingly showed up at my house, which took me by surprise. "Please leave. You're not welcome." "Please, I really need to talk to you." Emily came to my house and said that, but I slammed the door in her face. The reason I avoided Emily was because she looked too much like Olivia. Seeing Emily reminded me of Olivia. They were that similar. I just couldn't bring myself to talk, and as I kept avoiding Emily, she showed up again a few days later. To my astonishment, Emily deliberately wore the same clothes as Olivia and came to see me. Enough already. Olivia left me. Stopped making me feel miserable. Angry and thinking it was a mockery, I couldn't control my emotion and ended up shouting. But Emily wouldn't back down. "I know it's presumptuous, but I really need to talk to you. My sister loved you. Emily seemed to let it slip in the heat of the moment and then looked as if she regretted it. I thought, what are you talking about? Don't say such ridiculous things. But Emily's face showed genuine regret for her slip-up. Olivia loved me. I couldn't understand why she would say that. I'll be waiting at the Cat's Hotel. If you felt even a slight doubt about my sister, please come. Can't we talk here? It's not possible here. With that, Emily ran off. I took a moment to think. Honestly, I was initially furious and thought it was a joke, but as I calmed down, I couldn't deny feeling a touch of happiness seeing Emily dressed like Olivia. The last time I spoke with Olivia about the divorce, I indeed felt something was off. It was as if the person in front of me wasn't the Olivia I knew, but someone else wearing her face. Was that really Olivia? To confirm all my questions, I headed to the hotel. A restaurant at the Cat's Hotel. It had private rooms, and it was also the place where I proposed to Olivia. Emily had stopped dressing like Olivia and apologized as soon as I arrived. I'm sorry for making you uncomfortable. We needed privacy. Thank you for coming. If you're going to apologize, then tell me why you called me here. Olivia loved me. Then why isn't she here? As I pressed for answers, Emily quietly said, my sister has passed away. The direct cause was an accident, but that's not the whole story. Wait, hold on. Olivia is dead. How? Hearing about Olivia's death, I couldn't hide my shock. Emily seemed to have anticipated my reaction and quietly continued. The truth is, my sister was in debt. Debt, to be precise. She wasn't the one who took out the loans, but she became a guarantor, and then, wait, I can't keep up. The story was too much to take in all at once, and I gulped down the water on the table. Olivia is gone, and she was in debt. I had no idea about any of this. It seems Olivia had secrets she kept from me. According to Emily, Olivia had a close friend in college. This friend was very serious and talked about starting a business after graduation. Olivia said her friend was smart and capable enough to start a business. But then, a problem arose. Starting a business requires capital. The friend was all alone in the world, with no one to act as a guarantor. My sister was 21 at the time and was eligible to be a guarantor. She was close to the friend and wanted to support her friend's dream, so she signed on a dotted line as a guarantor. The friend thanked Olivia and then graduated from university without any issues. However, the friend had lied to Olivia. The friend was involved with loan sharks and disappeared. The debt heavily burdened Olivia. My sister tried to handle it all by herself. That's ridiculous. Why didn't you talk to me about it? We're family. It's normal to discuss these things. The friend disappeared only recently. Until then, they had been in regular contact. But suddenly, there was no response, and the creditors started contacting my sister. The initial loan was about $10,000, but the friend apparently intentionally avoided repayments, and the amount ballooned due to interest. According to Emily, the debt had exceeded $50,000. The contract was made before your marriage, so Steve, you're not responsible for the repayment. My sister decided to distance herself from you because she was deceived and didn't want to cause you any suffering. Olivia decided to get a divorce using the debt as a reason and thought about how to make you give up on her, hoping you'd think, I'm better off without such a woman, and fabricated a story about an affair. She thought that even if she told you about the debt, you would persist. Knowing your character, Olivia resorted to such measures. The man in the photo pretending to be the other man in the affair was actually Emily's boyfriend, who wasn't involved in any cheating. The reason Olivia felt like a different person when she filed for divorce was that she was playing the role of the worst woman who cheats on and leaves her husband. I was completely fooled by Olivia, who had dreamed of becoming an actress. My sister worked from morning till night to pay off the debt. She kept it a secret even from our family. working part-time in the mornings and at a bar every night. The debt collectors were reckless, and it seems she hardly slept. Perhaps it was too much for her. She didn't notice a car approaching while driving and collided with it. When Emily and her family arrived at the hospital, it was already too late for Olivia. The doctors said that due to severe overwork and lack of physical strength, recovery was difficult, and Olivia passed away a few days later. Our family only found out about the debt then. The insurance money was all used for repayment, and all that's left of my sister is this. Saying that, Emily handed me a cell phone. It was Olivia's cell phone. I looked at Emily. I want you to see this. It shows my sister's feelings for you. With the family's consent, I checked the cell phone. I didn't look at personal things like emails, but the photo folder was full of pictures of us. Pictures of me sleeping, pictures of meals I cooked on a whim. There were so many. I also opened a diary app. There weren't many entries, suggesting the diary wasn't written frequently. However, those few pages were all addressed to me. My once-in-a-lifetime performance. I wonder if Steve will be fooled. No, I have to fool him. I can't let him be unhappy because of me. It's ironic that I practiced for my dream of becoming an actress, but I had to use those skills here. But it was worth it if it will distance him from me. This entry was dated the day Olivia asked for a divorce. It showed Olivia's resolve. There was a significant gap until the next entry, but again, it was about me. I saw someone who looked like Steve in town. Even though it's impossible, I couldn't help but follow him with my eyes. How silly. After I let him go, Steve surely doesn't want to see me anymore. I made it that way. I don't deserve to feel sad, but why am I so sad? How can I fill this emptiness? Olivia felt the same loss in her heart as I did. I've thought about the same thing. How can one fill the void in their heart? But such a thing is never truly filled. That's how significant we were to each other. They say that you only realize what you've lost once it's gone, and it's not entirely wrong. I felt the same way. The diary comes to its final page, but there are hardly any words written there. Just one sentence: I want to see Steve. Olivia. In her final moments, she was calling your name, wanting to see you. She said if she was going to die anyway, she should have gone to see you. Emily, in tears, handed me something. It was the last thing my sister held onto. Our family discussed what to do with it, thinking maybe it was better for Olivia's sake to stay silent. But it was too sad to let her feelings and misunderstandings remain as they were. I'm sorry. As I took what was handed to me, Emily covered her mouth and cried. Looking at what was given to me, my vision blurred. It was Olivia's wedding ring. Honestly, knowing Olivia's true feelings now doesn't change the fact that there's nothing I can do about it. It only adds to my pain, and perhaps ignorance would have been bliss. But the joy of knowing she truly loved me overpowers that pain, filling the loneliness of my heart. Olivia, she really did love me. That realization brought salvation to my heart. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I cried like a child. Time has passed since then, and I find myself visiting Olivia's grave. It took me a while to sort out my feelings, which is why my visit was delayed. This season has fully transitioned into spring, with the warm sunshine feeling pleasant. I'm sorry for being late, but it's your fault for putting on such an act, making me take so long to come here. Standing in front of Olivia's grave, I gaze at her name. You really fooled me with your once-in-a-lifetime performance. I had no idea you were such a great actress. I wish you had told me. While saying this, I can't help but smile. Thank you for going to such lengths for me. I promise to live a happy life, so just watch over me for a while. I'll bring lots of stories to share when I see you in heaven. With those words, I walked away. A breeze brushes my cheek, and petals from the newly blossomed cherry blossoms graze it as well. It feels as if Olivia is right there with me, and I find myself smiling gently.